This is Genevieve McCarthy, Director of Cellar Tours, sitting here with Donald Cusimano, the Managing Director of Abadia Retuerta, one of the top wineries in Spain. Hi, Don.
Hi, Jen. How are you?
Very good. So tell me, how does a native New Yorker end up working in one of the best wineries in Spain?
Well, I was born in New York City. My parents came from Palermo, Sicily, from Italy. And so I've always been in the wine business. Since I was a young kid, my grandfather distributed wines in New York. Some of my uncles even made wine in the cellars of Brooklyn Brownstones, and we still have their winemaking equipment. So I was always fascinated by the business. Actually, the Spanish connection comes that I was studying Spanish in high school, and I came to Spain originally to learn how to play classical guitar, and I wound up learning how to drink wine. So that's how a Brooklyn boy gets to Madrid, Spain.
And what does the name Abadia Retuerta mean?
Abadia is a direct translation of abbey, or the monk's house, let's say, in English. And Retuerta is derived from the Latin Rivola Torta, which basically means the Duero River, which runs behind the monastery and runs right behind our property, makes a tortuous turn at that point in the river. So that's what Retuerta means. So the abbey was always called Abadia Santa Maria de Retuerta.
It's a tongue twister.
Yes, it is, yeah, especially for the American consumer, yeah.
Tell me about the first winemaker at Abadia Retuerta.
Yeah, his name is quite a famous guy. He's known as the Sage of Saint-Emilion, Pascal Delbecq from Saint-Emilion, Bordeaux. He was best known for his years during the 1980s of the great vintages of Chateau Orson. And now he's the proprietor of a smaller estate called Chateau Belair, making wonderful Bordeaux Saint-Emilion style wines. Pascal first came in 1989, and one of the first things he noticed, because he drove from Bordeaux through the whole Ribera del Duero region, and the first thing that impacted him was the way Spaniards build their wineries right on the side of the road. And he thought that was quite ugly, so one of the first things he did was make sure, when he had the money to build the Abadia Retuerta winery, one of the most modern wineries in Europe, he built it into the mountain, hidden by a pine tree forest, so you can't even see the winery from the road. Like I said, Pascal did this very exhaustive soil study together with a number of universities throughout Spain, and decided to plant, of the 210 hectares that we have, 75% with the native Tempranillo grape, 20% Cabernet Sauvignon, 4% Merlot, and then some very small parcels of Petit Verdot and Syrah. And that's very much in the Bordelais style. However, in 1996, he hired a young Spanish winemaker named Ángel Anosibar, the only Spanish winemaker with his doctorate, with his PhD in winemaking from Bordeaux, with a specialty in his doctorate on certain compounds that are found in red wines. What distinguishes Abadia Retuerta more than anything else is this enormous investment that we've made in technology. Even our neighbors thought we were a little crazy, we're a Swiss winery run by Catalanes, and now with an American general manager. We're a bit of an oddity amongst our neighbors. Although one of Spain's greatest wines, Pingus, is run by a Dane, so we're not that far out. But anyway, and there's a lot of other French enologists doing consulting projects in the area. However, what distinguishes Abadia Retuerta from the rest is what we call vinification by site-specific parcels. And of those 210 hectares that I mentioned, we've got them divided into 54 very unique plots. These plots are decided by altitude, by the way the sun hits them in the different times of year, by grape variety. So actually, when harvest time comes at Abadia Retuerta, we're actually making 54 different types of wine. Now, we only sell 7 or 8 different bottles of wine and types of wine. However, to get to a wine like Selección Especial, which is our most recent award winner, you probably got 40 or 50 different types of wine, different soil types, different climate types going into that bottle.
Speaking of awards, I heard you recently received a quite important award.
Yes, a very big one. I mean, in the world of wine, there's awards and then there's awards. I mean, there's a wine contest probably every day of the year in the wine world. The International Wine Challenge, sponsored by Wine International magazine in London, is the run-up to the London Wine Fair that's held every April or May. And it's been going on for 22 years now, and it is the most rigorous, most difficult, and the most robust contest there is. You're talking about 9,700, almost 10,000 wines from around the world, submit samples, and you've got 40 master sommeliers doing 6 weeks of tasting, going through first, second, and third cuts. As a matter of fact, of those 10,000 wines, only about 30% of the wines make the first cut and are able to get some sort of an award. Now, at Abadia Retuerta, since our first commercial vintage in 1996, we've always won a number of silver and bronze medals every year. However, we had never won a gold medal. And this year, nor gold, nor silver, nor bronze, we were awarded with the best Spanish trophy. Best for the best red wine in Spain. Now, again, we were up against 850 entrants from Spain from the first cut. So that was unbelievable to begin with. Now, you can't publish those results until September 6th when they have their gala dinner in London for the award ceremony. And I couldn't go, but I sent my colleagues to go pick up the award, and sure enough, at 10 o'clock in the evening, I was sitting at home, and I got the call that we had actually won the red trophy, which means it's the best red wine in the world for that year. And that's our Abadia Retuerta Selección Especial. So yeah, we were flabbergasted. I mean, we can't say that we were surprised because we put a lot of work into this over the past 10 or 12 years. But it's, it's the result of a lot of hard work and a lot of teamwork.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
And what can people expect if they come to see the Abadia Retuerta Winery?
What can people expect when they come to see Abadia Retuerta? It's a very interesting experience. Usually, some tours are different than others, but I'd say it's about a 2-hour experience. People come first, we put them in a 4x4, and we immediately go to the vineyards because that's where everything starts, with the vines. And we show them our technology in the field, our water irrigation systems by drop irrigation, our computer-controlled trunk dilation. We have sensors going down in each of those 54 plots that I mentioned, 30, 60, 90, and 120 centimeters, testing the thirst of every plant that we have, all relaying information back to a central database that tells us exactly how much water that plant needs to develop to perfect maturity. The test that we have with using laser pistols determining the thirst of the leaf of each plant. It's truly unbelievable technology. And then we take them to one of the most, if not the most modern wineries in Europe today, where we have the capacity to vinify 80 different wines, although we're doing 54 at this time, and a barrel storage room that holds over 5,225 liter American and French oak barrels. Then after the winery, we go back across the road to the monastery, which is almost completely restored now. It's been a labor of love, trying to bring something back that had been abandoned for so many centuries. But we show people the cloister, the original chapel, and the beautiful 12th century church. From there, we take them into what was the monk's dining room, the refectory, and we give them a lovely wine tasting.
The region around Ribera del Duero is quite a classic traditional area. What makes Abadia Retuerta different?
Aside from our vinification, our plot vinification, site-specific vinification, our laboratory is probably one of the greatest research laboratories for wine in the world. We're almost known as the CSI, the Grissom and Horacio of the region. I mean, actually, some of our gas chromatographers are actually seen on those CSI shows, the exact same models from Agilent Technologies, so it's quite hysterical when people see those. Also, we have probably around December, when people start tasting the wine from the September-October vintage for the first time, after a couple of months in vats, you'll see a line of young ladies from surrounding vineyards coming to our master winemaker and asking him, "Can you give me a hand? What's wrong with my wine, or what's good about my wine?" So yeah, we're known in the region as the research lab. Okay, I'd just like to end off saying that it's a really fantastic time to come to Spain. Everything's really gelling. You got a lot of young, exciting, modern-focused winemakers around the country now. The weather is fantastic, and it's just a great time to come to Spain.